Yeah. The troubleshooting of three-phase motor panel. The panel stop operation. The cause of the malfunction is yet to be reviewed, but effort was made by some maintenance is working yesterday, that is maintenance on duty yesterday, to salvage the situation by connecting the panel directly supply to supply. But the connections pose serious risk in the motor since there is no functionalities of voltage monitor and contactor. So in this case, we are trying to test if there is a voltage in the wire. In this case, because the systems was connected from the supply directly to the machine, we are to disconnect the direct connections and put it in a proper way so that if there is a surge or a kind of incomplete voltage, the voltage monitors at the top will control so that it will not have any effect or damaging effect on the calendar machine which we are about to power. And we have the contactor. The contactor is not in operation as a result of the faults that we are trying to troubleshoot right here, and we are trying to disconnect the wire so that we can now reconnect everything and ensure that the systems is in a good condition. Okay. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah, it is very thick. We are trying to remove the insulator tape so that we remove the wrong connection that was earlier made by some maintenance team to salvage the situations. So we are trying to disconnect all the wire. By the time we finish the disconnection of all this wire, and we will connect it in a proper way so that the system will seems to sense any over voltage or under voltage that emanate from the power surge, from the power supply system. So that is what we are about to do. We remove all the wire earlier connected. We remove all the connection. Yeah, the tape was seriously taped so that there won't be any kind of a voltage leakage, and we are trying to connect it in a proper way. The wires coming from the supply panel, a real supply main supply panel, enter into the breaker, circuit breaker. From the circuit breaker, it takes the output to the contactor as well as the breakers that supplies the voltage monitors. The function of the voltage monitor is to detect any kind of variation in the voltage so that it will not so that the panel will stop working when there is a kind of suspicious voltage which is not good for the systems. So In some cases, in some cases, there is a need to put overload to mimic the voltage and the load characteristics of the machine. So in this case, the overload is not installed on the contactor, but in some cases, depends on what you are trying to design, just like as it is. Now we are trying to check after connections. So we are trying to check the continuity of some wires that were not connected earlier, so as to ensure that there is a good connection. So we put it at the output of the voltage monitor, where the voltage monitors has inputs, which is the three-phase voltage monitors, and there is a kind of coil. This is where we put our three-phase wires and a switch. It switches there is sent a signal when there is a good voltage, and this voltage is not a kind of a suspicious voltage. So when it is not a suspicious voltage, we decide to send a signal, and the machine will start working. In this case, this other wire that power the other push button, because this voltage monitor supply the push button which will energize the contactors. As soon as the voltage monitor sees that sees the signals, and the signals is not under voltage and over voltage, it will energize the contactor, as well as the motor will start working. The motor that we are trying to power is a three-phase calendar pressing machine, and we are trying to make our work neat. As a technician, you ensure that your work is neatly packed, so that there won't be a kind of mixed mind about your competency. As we can see, you have to tight all the terminal properly, so that there won't be a kind of electric surge. This electric surge might also stop the workabilities of the panel. So that is why we decide to tight everything properly, so that there won't be a kind of a partial contact. And this partial contact as well, now we have energized it, the system has energized. The voltage monitors has to send a signal to the push button. This push button in return will energize the contactor. The contactor has auxiliary. It has A1 and A2. The A1 is the negative, while the A2 is the positive. As soon as there is a connection within these two terminals, the system will energize. You can see it energized properly, and the system is okay. Now let's check what we are trying to power. We are trying to power this calendar machine. As you can see, power, and everything is in a good condition. As you can see. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you so much.